Welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the Universal Chinese. Let's review what we talked about this week. That everything starts from the top frame. There's one horizontal line with something underneath it and it's kind of connected to the top horizontal line as well. And we know if we have one horizontal line on top of the frame, very often it means the sky or heaven or outer space or the energy source. And so this week we visited several of such concepts, and let's see if it actually related to this heavenly image. So the first one we talked about is and, this concept of and that was created by this man's beard style ancient times, kind of a Chinese goatee, kind looks like this, and with the chin like that. And this horizontal line on the top frame actually is the tip of the nose. So it has nothing to do with heaven. And then this vertical line is this particular thing. I don't know. There gotta be a term for that. So it's between the nose and upper lip. There is this kind of rut, this indentation. And that's this vertical line. And we can see in contemporary Chinese, it got stylized kind of sideways. And I think that's simply because it's for the convenience of writing, because we start from one top horizontal line, and then before we get to the bottom portion of it, we have to do the stroke. And we always write from, is it right? Yeah, we always write from the left to right. So we're trying to reach this point, and this stroke is in between this horizontal line that's and at this kind of, here the digitized version simply to show you the thick point of the ink, which is the stop sign of the stopper end, versus here is the starting point. So this is the ending point. So from here, and then we try to reach to here. In the middle, we have to draw this thing. So it only makes sense, like directionally, it's from the top right all the way to this middle left. So in between, if we draw a straight downward, that would kind of change the direction. So here we just sideline this in the middle before move to here. Anyway, it's a lengthy explainer of what happened there. So instead of drawing the original image of this vertical line, which gotta be vertical, right? Because otherwise our face would be twisted. That for the convenience of writing, this got diagonalized. And we see contemporary Chinese also try to even out the beard length. So instead of the top beard kind of shorter here, and then we have a longer beard at the chin, here everything lengthened up. So we have 4 vertical lines going downward like this. And actually to make, I guess, visually more cohesive, that internal 2 vertical lines got shorter, and the side ones, the outer ones kind of wrap around, get longer. So that's the evolution for the writing. Okay, then we have 100. And I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what happened to 100, the origin, how we came up with this abstract concept of 100. It could be this one horizontal line actually means number 1. And we have underneath, it's paired with white, which came from the sun, having these beams of, in here it shows 3 of them, but I guess the ancient version or contemporary version shows just 1 beam. 1 is enough to show, okay, the sunlight, and we use the sunlight to define the white color. And 1 white was probably referring to the white-ish color of silver. I mean, nowadays we call it silver, right? We use this reflective color as silver, but in ancient times we use white color to describe the coloring of silver. And that's ancient currency, and probably somehow signifies as 100 unit. We don't know. Second version of that is this looks like the nose And nose in Chinese used as a self-referral, as we often point to our own nose to refer to ourselves, and oneself somehow is 100. So there was a logic jump over there. I couldn't explain why. All right, so here you can see ancient version. It's also symmetrical, looks like this, right? The nose bridge, or the sun ray vertically going up. But here, for the convenience of writing, we diagonalize that and we kind of flatten the top so that it becomes a boxy image. Versus here, it's a lot more complicated, right? It's 3 spiky vertical thing. And this is diagonal, right? And then we kind of flatten out this and diagonalize this and then write it simplified, streamlined as such by. Then we have a mian. And mian is another, I would say, this is more visually identifiable, that these 2 nostrils under the nose bridge. So this is the nose bridge that we use to describe here, and 2 verticalized nostrils, and then draw a edge around it to mean the edge of the face, and double the edge of the face to draw your attention to the edge of the face. And we use that to mean face, because otherwise we don't know, are we talking about the nose, the center of the face, or the edge of the face? And here we double down on the edge to show you this is the edge of the face we talked about. And again, this nose bridge, diagonal shape, right? Got flattened out to horizontal, and the inside circle and the outside got connected. And so that the top frame, instead of boxing in or wrap in the edge of the inner edge of the face, right? Instead of that, we just preserve this top line, horizontal line, and diagonalize, kind of connecting to the bottom part, which is the center of the nose, the center of the face, the nose, and the edge. So quite a lot of transformation here to make everything looks like boxy, to the extent that when we look at this contemporary Chinese version, it's hard to imagine any nose and nostrils in there, right? And that's I guess, the cost. We lose certain fidelity, but we gained efficiency. And the concept of West, well, this is one of the ways the West was explained as the bird, this outline of a bird image sitting next to the nest. So bird returning to the nest is the moment when the sun is setting in the west. So there is quite of a, picturesque moment of sun setting, and we use that, the bird returning to nest, to infer at or refer to the West concept. So the whole thing here replaced. And I, in that episode, showed you another version of it. Simply the top horizontal line do mean the sky or the outer space or the biosphere, the visible boundary of upper boundary of existence. And then this energy coming from top down to this box symbolizes the land, as we used to be flat earthers, all of us, right? So that's what was believed to be the sun setting or the outer space energy coming down to the earth. And that's the concept of West. Now we have the concept of West, add one horizontal line in there, and it came totally from a different source, which is a bottle. It's kind of like a little bit chubbier version of wine bottle with a bottle stopper and fermented liquid underneath it. And so that's an ancient drawing, a version of what this drink will look like. We have to put a bottle of the stopper over there, otherwise it's going to evaporate and gone. And here I simply point out by these two arrows to show that this is flattening. The ancient version got this kind of cone shape, which was not realistic at all. If it's a liquid, it got to be flat, right? So the contemporary version actually reflects the reality better than the ancient stylized seal script language character rendering. So here we have a flattening of that, but the rest of them preserved pretty well. Okay, yeah, the sub concept came from this underground ramp leading to the tomb site. So it was a giant luxury afterlife burial site, and this ramp's going down. So that's I guess 4 entrances leading to the center of the tomb. And that's the original, this cross-looking imagery of there. And yeah, I guess people add a stopper on the top and the bottom, which in Chinese philosophy signify the top as the heaven and bottom as the earth. So it's almost like we create this character to signify the underground burial site for the royalties in ancient time, that to tell them they are the, I guess, this cross imagery, this big existence, probably larger than life, right? Because they have a life, they have afterlife, and lots of luxury items buried together with them. And then we have this boundary of top, bottom, heaven, and earth in between, kind of frame their pretty oversized existence in the past. All right, so this is simply to show you, instead of drawing out that cross outline shape, we streamline that with 2 dots on the side and then straighten out the middle to be just 2 columns there. So here, 耳白面西有呀, and all of them went through some sort of transformation. The most common one is this diagonalized line to connect, even if original imagery is symmetrical, right? A vertical line there. For the sake of strokes of the brush ink going down to streamline that, this diagonalized line for that. And we know the West concept, the imagery of this bird nest is one of the explanations, but this could possibly came from another source. They do talk about the energy from the heaven sinking down into earth, and that's the concept of West. When the sun sets, that's when the energy goes down earth. And this wine bottle imagery with the liquor underneath flattened out, pretty it's probably one of the best of the 6 of this group, best preserved of the ancient rendering. I guess people drink wine and kind of simplify into that imagery, and it's universal. It's simple enough, no need to further change it. And this, is a major discovery for me for this week, that I didn't know that we have this cross imagery, are the ramps leading to the underground burial site. And we use that sub terrain to eventually mean sub anything else. All right, so here we have end to sub, and it's submarine. It's one, I guess, an era. It marks an era of war, that when we use the submarine technology. All right, thank you for your time. See you another week.